So last night I went onto the radio to discuss fracking versus renewables. And, well, here's an extract from it, and you can decide for yourself whether this media channel has a specific narrative that they want people to follow.
Right, let's talk to Andrew, who's a first-time caller from Warwick. The question we're asking this hour is to frack or not to frack, because Reform UK are saying it's grossly financially negligent to a criminal degree to leave that value underground and not to extract it. Andrew, what do you say?
I totally and utterly agree, because fracking, nothing bad about it can be as bad as the current UK's wind energy policy. Because last year we had an additional £1.2 billion on our electricity bills to pay wind farms to turn off while it was windy, because we can't transport the electricity from the wind farms to where it's needed.
Do you really think that fracking and drilling for fossil fuels underneath our country is the right way forward? Surely all the science is telling us that, listen, we've just got to get behind renewables.
No. The science isn't telling us that at all, because when you have to switch these wind farms off, you then need to actually fire up a natural gas power station. So in fact, you're paying twice. So instead of paying twice, you may as well just pay once for the fossil fuels. There's also a lot of extra damage which isn't being accounted for. If you look at Hornsby offshore wind farm, that doesn't have any constraint payments, but it also added to really harming Grimsby's fishing industry. And now, after Keir Starmer agreed that the EU fishermen could fish into British waters for another 12 years, they're now looking at prospecting for more offshore wind farms off the coast of Cornwall, which will then hurt that industry even more. What I would say is that when Margaret Thatcher was Prime Minister, she came in and national debt as a percentage of GDP was 40%. Now, she did sell a lot of the shares in Britoil prematurely, but she left with the national debt at only 20% of GDP. And if you look at the current mess that the Chancellor is in, even if there will be some environmental damage and some issues, our current Chancellor would absolutely love to reduce GDP, debt to GDP from 100% to 80%. So I think we're in such a financial pickle that unfortunately we really need to take advantage of what assets that we have. And also we need to educate the public of how much harm wind energy and the current strategy is doing. Just to give one example, the biggest recipient of constraint payments on onshore wind farms was Viking Wind Farm. It can produce enough electricity to generate power for 500,000 homes, and it was built on Shetland, an island with only 23,000 inhabitants. So
well, you're telling me things I'll need to check out for myself, but I appreciate your call. Thank you so much, Andrew.